Hello everyone, this is Nirmal here for Technique, and in this video we will do the detailed review of the camera on the Gionee Elife S7. So the S7 is a flagship phone under the S series, and the main selling factor of this device is a slim design, and it's pretty slim, and it's just 5.5 mm thick, or rather it's a really beautiful device, and it does have pretty good specs as well. It has a 5.2-inch Full HD display. It's an AMOLED display. It has the 13 megapixel rear camera with LED flash and also front facing camera, and it does run Android 5.0 Lollipop. It's powered by an octa-core chipset, that's a MediaTek 64-bit chipset with 2GB RAM and 16GB internal storage. So that is the spec aspect of the Elife S7. Now going to the camera aspect, which we'll be covering in this video. So you can see here Gionee has done a lot of work in making the camera unit flat and does not protrude. You can see here it's a flat panel out there in the rear panel. So that's one good thing about this device. Now let's go to the camera interface. So let's open the camera app. So this is the camera interface of the Gionee Elife S7. So it's a pretty simple interface. You can see the settings are arranged on either side of the viewfinder, and you can see the top settings. So here we have the option to switch on guidelines, then countdown timer, capture mode you can set. So we have a touch shot, gesture shot, as well as the normal shot. Then you have anti-banding, geotagging. You can select the picture size. It goes from 2 megapixel up to 13 megapixel. That's the maximum size. Now you can just if you click here, you can see the option to switch to front camera. So that's the front camera on the Elife S7. Now we can have the option to enable or disable flash. So you can see here that's also included. And then you have the modes. So these are the modes available. So you can see face beauty filter, there's night mode, professional mode. So what the professional mode does is you can change the focus, then shutter speed, white balance, ISO, and also exposure value. So this is basically a manual mode. So what you can do is you can click here and select the values. So this is applicable for exposure, ISO. Then we have the white balance, then shutter speed can be also set. There is also manual and autofocus. You can do that. So that's the professional mode. We can have controls in different manner. So all in all, this mode is pretty useful for photographers. You can manually select the options instead of having to go with the default set of options. So that's the professional mode. Then you have the magic focus. You can see effect will be better if you close up, if you take close range photos. So that's the magic focus. Then you need to keep the camera steady during this mode. Then we have the filters, HDR panorama, night mode, then the normal mode along with pic mode. So these are the options available in the camera. So feature wise, we would say this camera does a pretty good job. It has almost all features you would require on a camera. Then let's go to the video mode. Let's see the options. You can see geotagging is there, anti-shaking is there. That's pretty good. Then you can select the scene mode. It can be auto as well as night. Then the video quality can be set to 1080p, that's supported. Then you have the option to select the white balance, exposure, anti-banding, just like the photo cam. So now let's come back to the camera again. So the interface wise, this is a pretty decent camera. We would say this has almost all options, and professional mode especially is pretty handy to have control on your photos. So all in all, this is a pretty good camera interface. Now let's go to the photos. So first have a look at the daylight shots. So here are the daylight shots. Now as you can see from the daylight shots, once you take the photo, when you view the photo in the device itself, it's pretty good. It's really great colors. So you can see on the display, the Super AMOLED display, the colors look really natural and looks pretty good as well. The overall clarity looks good. But what happens is when you transfer these photos to your PC and have a look at them, they're not really that good. The camera actually isn't that performing when you compare with other flagship. Although this is a very good camera, we can't say this is a poor camera. This is definitely a good camera, but it's not of the league of flagship cameras. That's where the camera fails. It does have pretty good clarity, but then the sharpness levels are not that good, and when you take the photos to the piece, you can see they are oversaturated and doesn't look that good. And the overall clarity, along with the various aspects including the color reproduction, the brightness levels, and also the saturation levels, we are not really impressed with the quality of the photos, although it does a pretty good job when you compare with mid-range phones. But considering that this is priced above the 20k range, this camera doesn't have that great performance when you compare with the OnePlus One or even the Xiaomi Mi 4, all priced below the Gionee Elife S7. So that's where this camera fails. So overall, we would say this is a decent camera, not the best camera from Gionee. We would still say the Elife E7, which was released last year, or rather in 2013, was one of the best cameras till date from Gionee. Now coming to the close-up shots, this is one area where the Elife S7 impresses. The close-up shots have come really good, and there is good clarity in those shots, and you can see the detailing is also very good. Here we can say the noise levels are much lower than what you saw on the daylight shots, and even the color quality looks much better than what we saw on the regular shots where it was oversaturated. But the low light imaging was really good, and there was the bokeh effect added to the photos, which makes them very good. So all in all, we would say in the close-up shots, or rather the macro shots, the camera performed very well, and the clarity was very good, and we did like the shots taken, and the color quality also was good. But overall daylight shots, we said, as we said, it was slightly oversaturated and the clarity was not that great. Now moving on to the low light images. So here are the low light images taken with this device, and you can see from the low light photos, the clarity again is not that good. It's pretty noisy, and with low light the clarity, the overall clarity of photo was not good. But with adequate lighting, it is able to adjust with the low light abilities, and we were taken in this in auto mode, and you can see a lot of noise creeping into these photos, and it was not that good considering other phones also does have pretty good low light abilities in this price point. And this is the photo taken with flash, and you can see here the flash is slightly over bright, making the photo look slightly out of sync than the regular photos. So that's one area. So you can see here the clarity is good, the detailing is good, the noise levels are low, but then the photos have photos are slightly over bright. That's the issue with the flash. So that was the daylight as well as the low light imaging capabilities of the Gionee Elife S7. So overall, we can say the camera is pretty decent and not really the best in terms of the flagship experience provided by the Elife S7. So this is a flagship phone under the S series, so the camera isn't up to the flagship quality, but definitely is a decent camera. Now this phone does support video recording. That's a 1080p recording. Again, the sample looks pretty decent and much better than the daylight photos. The clarity is also pretty good. Even the overall detailing on the 1080p video recording looks pretty decent. Now the phone also comes with a front facing 8 megapixel camera, and this is pretty good for selfies and video calls. So we did record photos, take photos and record videos with this front camera, and here are some of the samples taken with this front camera, and we would say this is pretty good 8 megapixel front shooter for ideal for selfies and video calls, and the experience is pretty good as well. So that was the camera review of the Gionee Elife S7. So all in all, we would say this is a decent camera. It's not of really great flagship quality, but definitely works well on most of the conditions, and it produces decent shots, although not the best in this category. So that was the camera review of the Gionee Elife S7. Hope you like this video. If you have any queries, drop in a comment and we'll be glad to help you out with the queries. If you like this video, do hit the like button and also subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great day.